Thank you all for tuning in. I am Selena Marshae, and this is You Plus Happy. I'm really excited about this episode because it features every guest we've had on the show for 2024 and their definition of success. I want to send a huge shout out to everyone who was on the show, all the guests who shared their time and their wisdom and knowledge with us. Thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for listening to the episodes, being supportive, and everyone who shared the episode, who's commented, who's liked, everything. I'm really excited for 2025. We have some special things in store, so stay tuned. And the first episode will be January 7th, so tune in then. Without further ado, here are the guests of 2024. Well, what's your definition of success?
Waking up being comfortable. The most complete thing to me in a day is I learn something, I do something physically. In the way the world is now, make some money. But if we go back to like Neanderthals or hunter-gatherer days, that could be something as simple as I fed the village. I killed something and brought food back to the village, right. Or I protected my village. And spiritually, is did I connect with the world? Did I connect with God? Did I pray today? Did I have a very open, honest conversation with myself? And of course, we don't check all those boxes every single day. Right. But if I find that I'm hitting those boxes, checking those boxes more so than not throughout the course of the week, that's a good life.
What does it look like if you're successful?
Success to me is everything is taken care of. Everything taken care of. Like everything. You just sit down. You can sit down and not have to sit down. You can actually lean back, look at everything that you've accomplished, feel that nice little warm feeling right there. It's called fulfillment. That's success. Everything else don't matter. When you feel fulfilled, that's success. It don't matter it don't matter you making $50K a year. It don't matter. Right here. You feel fulfilled, your family taken care of, you got everything you need. Not what you want, you need. What you need taken care of. Nice. It keeps life simpler when you think of it that way. Mm-hmm. When you don't think of it that way, you're gonna keep, even when you're 50, you're gonna fulfillment is the greatest feeling in the world. That's true success.
How do you define success?
So again, back to I purposely redefined my success at the end of December. So going into starting this talk show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, I had some like big goals. I'm like, I want 1,000 subscribers. I want, awards, accolades. And when I realized that success shouldn't come from outside factors that I have no control over, that success is more of a means of how do I show up for myself daily. I started looking at success of being consistent about my show or dedicated to show up for myself, to improve myself at every chance that I can get. Because one of the things, again, subscribers, there are people specifically that have told me, I watched your show, I know who you are. I'm like, have you subscribed? They're like, nope. I'm like, why not? There's going to be people that will legitimately watch your show and subscribe or don't subscribe because it's you. And they wish whatever the outside factors are of why they don't. So I had to tell myself, okay, success isn't the number of subscribers. It's not the number of followers. Yes, of course, that looks great. But at the end of the day, was I happy with the season that I aired? Was I happy with the way that I interacted with people did the people that I interviewed leave feeling seen? If all those answers are yes, then I did a successful job. And that didn't come until December when, like you mentioned, I did win 2 very prestigious awards for my show. And then I was left thinking, well, is that enough? Like, I didn't meet all of my goals. Am I not successful then? And I was like, pause. I have no control over, yes, it was great that, I got this, but it wasn't because I did anything different than I was actually doing. I had no control over winning these. I have no control over who subscribes to my channel or not. But I do know that I'm making an impact in my city. And that right there is success alone. Like, so if you're happy with what you're doing, like, I think that's how, at least me, I shifted my perspective to say this is what success is.
What's your definition of success?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, in the theme of the podcast, I think about it a lot of that of sort of like everybody really has to like do that for themselves.
Yeah.
And in all ways, like we're the only ones who can sort of like, tell us like what it's like. We kind of have to come to like what is important to us.
Right.
You don't have to. You can kind of just move. It's totally possible, and it's also it's there's folks where it's like they're like, yeah, the money does do it for me actually.
Yeah,
and that's like
for sure.
But yeah, I've never felt that way, and certainly like, to your point, there's a lot of folks where it's like, oh yeah, I got the money, but boy, I kind of missed the mark somewhere along the way, and like now what? So I feel like that is all to say, like I think that is the question of like what is important to me, and it's not like you arrive at one answer,
Right.
But it's like important to just kind of keep asking it.
What does it mean to be successful to you? What does it mean?
That's such an abstract question because the measure of success, depending on your time in life, can mean anything. So in theory, right now for myself, me having eventually buying this house, having my stable job, and also continuing to film, I would feel successful. Earlier in life, a couple years ago, it was like me reaching the same amount of income that my parents were making.
Mm-hmm.
That was success to me.
Right.
Now that I'm doing that, I'm like, okay, I gotta redefine my success.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that ultimately, if I was to base it on my art and craft, once I have produced a film with over $1 million budget, which is considered still micro.
I know, which is crazy.
Yeah. I can say I am successful in this field. So I'll be happy that if I couldn't film for some reason anymore, I could say I did this. I was a DP. I was a director. I legit did it.
Yeah.
But overall success, I would say, is me in life being able to, hopefully when I'm 40 and 50, is to be able to get up every day and turn on a camera and shoot or record kind of whatever I want.
What does it mean to be successful?
What does it mean to be successful? I think that means just being able to be, I don't want to say content, but content and at peace, and you're able to rest. You don't have to overthink things. You don't have to question everything. Yes, you're able to, and it's not even monetary.
Right.
Like even if I'm at a phase now, I feel like I am successful for where I am right now, because I know even when I have my days or moments where I'm without, I know that the time will come where I'm able to provide. I'm not going to stress about what I don't have. I'm going to be grateful for what it is that I do have. I'm forever thinking in advance for what's coming my way. So it's like just being able to embrace calmly, peacefully, where I am now. That's the main definition of success for me. Now, blowing up and getting big, yes. I always say this. I never want to reach a level where I am this well-known person, but I can't be comfortable being myself. I want to be wealthy enough, have my account full enough where I can just say, here, this, that, and the third, bills paid, this, that, and the third, and not have to worry. But also not have to put on this show or front or anything like that, and not feel like I can't be myself.
Yeah.
As long as I can be myself wholeheartedly, remain true to myself, and still have the people that I love around me, and I can support them and do whatever it is that I need to do, that's success for me.
What's your definition of success?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. My definition of success would be choosing how you want to live life. Choosing how you get up in the morning. Freedom. Choosing who you want to be, where you want to be, how you want to be it.
I love that.
That's success. Because some people can have a ton of money and they still, they're still so unhappy. And so success is happiness to me then. Yeah. In one season, success was about money and notoriety and material things. And I still want all of it, baby. I am so here for luxurious items. But I don't want them at the cost of my soul. I don't want them at the cost of being unhappy or being stressed out. Yeah.
And you don't need them to, like you said earlier, validate you. That is completely different. What is your definition of success?
It has changed over the years. I think currently it means the freedom to do what I want when I want. I think a lot of people think like, success is money, it's monetary, but you can have a lot of money and no freedom.
Right.
Meaning you could work for somebody and you got to be where they tell you to be, when they tell you to be there, how they tell you to be there. And that to me doesn't feel very free and successful anymore. Just to be the steward of my own time and going where I want to go, when I want to go, because I have a family now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, if, I want to, me, my husband and kids want to go somewhere, I want to be able to go there and not worry about, are we going to have food? Are we going to be able to pay for food when we get back? Am I going to have a job when I get back? I don't want to work like that anymore. So I think just being able to do what I want with my time.
Right.
And how I want to do it is the ideal of success that I always want to live in.
Okay. I have to ask you what your definition of success is, because that's what the show's about.
For me, my definition of success is being able to just pay my bills, doing something that I don't hate every day. Just being able to afford a nice lifestyle, doing something that I wake up and I feel good about doing. I'm being of service to people, or I'm making an imprint on history. In the Black indie comic space, I just want to be recognized as somebody who was a member of the Black indie comic space, like a footnote, like, hey, Noble was here and he created this character and he was cool.
Right.
And be able to leave a legacy of people who got together and had healthy relationships because they met me.
What does success? How do you define success?
Success to me is acceptance of like the moment, complete acceptance of what's happening and complete peace, right? So to me, that's what it is. And because it's like money. If money is your definition of success, I think you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. There's no amount of money, man. Money is just a thing. Like it's great to have money, you know what I mean? Like, but I think it's great to be happy when you don't have money. That's if you can reach a level of like, yo, I don't have any money, but I'm still pretty happy with what I have right now, right? Because like most people have amazing lives. Like we have air conditioning right now, right? Like, it could always be worse. So the moment you can, like, to me, when I get to a point where I'm like, yo, man, I'm just happy just being here and I accept what I have and who I am, whenever I feel like that 100%, that's when I feel like I'm successful. When I'm feeling that, I feel like I'm not being successful.
The whole point of the show is what does success mean to you?
Man, success. I mean, success. One, staying my ass out of prison.
That's good.
Hey, it's
That's good.
I got a cousin doing time now. It's all like he got out just long enough to bury my uncle, my dad, and have a baby, and then right back in. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm fuck with Kamala. I got too many, man. I got too many like family members at dumb times. So I don't prosecution. I'm cool. What was I supposed to say? Where was I going? Oh, success. Financial freedom is definitely where I don't have to worry about money. It's like my favorite scene in Forrest Gump, like where he's like, we ain't got to worry about money no more. And then yeah, just kind of just being able to move how I want to move. That's
freedom.
Like freedom to move how I want to. Yeah, freedom pretty much at the end of the day, and then also being able to show others how to be free. And then the big goal is just to be able to have a relationship with my kids and like where like not to where like I'm not trying to be dad because I was never really dad in the first place, but yo, pops, we could talk. You learn more. You learn about me. The more you could learn about you. The more I could learn about y'all. The more, and then in a point where I can like make it so like whatever y'all need, I got y'all. So y'all don't have to make some of the moves I had to make because things were tight or shit like that. Or especially with my daughter, like my kids, but definitely my daughter, to where I ain't got no no nigga trying to sell you some dumb shit because whatever. I'm like, hey baby girl, what you need? There you go. I got it for you. So. Okay. That's success in my eyes.
That's success.
I would say last thing is this is a note. Whatever your goals are in life, just like we said a little bit earlier, my whole thing was just becoming undeniable, and that's how you have to look at it. And being undeniable and getting to where you want to go just comes with your own passions, belief we talked about earlier, and in general, the success will come once you once you get to that point where you feel like, yeah, you know what, I'm undeniable. The success will come after that. So that's kind of how I feel. So hopefully that means something to you. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Yeah. Hopefully like everything you take from this is like, hey, you know what, that guy, he was on something.
I'll close this out, but what does success mean to you?
Success to me is being able to help the people closest to me and the people that are not close to me. So like if I can help a business owner or a friend or anybody today, and then they're gonna go and help 5 other people, like that is success for me. And just having like my freedom, like my time is like the biggest thing. Like if I want to go get pasta at like 11 o'clock and drink a bottle of wine, I can. Or if I want to go fly up to Seattle and visit my mom for a whole month, I can, and I don't have to worry about, like what's gonna happen or I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah. No, for real. Freedom. Okay. Well, how do you feel?
I feel great. This was awesome. You're killing it with these interviews.
So what is your definition of success?
Let's see. My definition of success is pretty simple. Is if you can wake up in the morning and say that you're about to go do what you love, go to sleep at night, happy about what you did, I feel like that right there is successful. I feel like if you love your environment, you love what's going on around you, I feel like that right there is successful. If you're chasing your dreams, if you're not sitting stagnant, you're constantly trying to improve yourself, moving forward, I feel like that is successful.
Yeah. Okay. How does one find out what they love?
Try everything. You got to try shit. Like I've done a lot of jobs. You gotta do a lot of jobs. You gotta go through a lot of hardship. You gotta go through a lot of success to find out what really piques your interest. You gotta try. You gotta put yourself out there. Try.
Yeah, because I think who you are as a person is easier to sustain than something that what the society thinks. In the sense like I can get an opportunity to go on tour and I might be able to do fine, but I won't be able to sustain it just because I'm not the same person who. How do I put it? Like if when I'm doing comedy, right? If a joke is not coming from within me, who I'm as a person, it doesn't hit. Like that's the very reason comedians don't really copy jokes, because it doesn't work. Like if I joke about something that's not truly me, it doesn't hit. People know it. So it's more important to find the intent that's coming within you to do those things actually in the world, than to just like chase after like opportunities, because you won't be able to sustain it, right? That's what I'm coming at. Like if what you're doing doesn't match who you are internally, you won't be able to sustain it for a long time.
The whole show is about your definition of success and challenging the stereotypical definitions of success. So what's yours?
You know, I think success, it's very personal for everybody, right? Like everybody has a different definition, which is like, I think you're bringing this question, right? I love it.
Yes.
But for me, success is pushing boundaries to yourself and working to get them, working to get wherever you are. You know, one of my goals when I started college was being a Hollywood movie. It was very like, it's literally like that. It was written like that. 5 years later, I did it, and I feel so successful. And no matter what happened after that, for me, I felt like I could do it. And that anything that you put your mind into, you can do it. Now, success doesn't always go like you want it, right? Like sometimes it's just failure, right? But even failure should not be negative, because that's telling you that you tried it. You did put yourself there in the situation, you tried it, it didn't work out. Now you can learn from it and continue and, you know, keep trying to get it. And at some point you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's a very tricky thing, because when we think about success, we're like, oh, I failed this, I failed that, so I wasn't successful enough. And I'm like, no, you should not beat yourself down because of that. You should wake up, you should stand up, put yourself, be like, okay, what did I learn from that situation? How can I become better? And that's when the success happens.
What's your definition of success?
Okay. I've always said, and I feel like I've said this a lot, but for me in this industry, I have always said that I'm trying to do two things. One, I am trying to pay my bills. I would like to pay my bills doing the work that I love to do. That is in some ways a very high bar, but in some ways a very manageable bar. And so that is one. And the second thing I'm trying to do is chase delight. And delight is a word that I speak to myself a lot and I say out loud a lot, because it is achievable. Sometimes joy feels big. Like sometimes like the idea of like consistent joy, consistent happiness, consistent contentment overwhelms me. But delight can be very ephemeral. It can be very like a flash in the pan, it's something that you can sort of chase and capture, and then you let it go. Like delight is not a sustained state of being, but it is sort of infinite in its ability to be captured. So I chase delight in the kinds of things that I write, in the kinds of films that I make, in the relationships that I build, both professionally and personally, in the ways that I treat myself. How do I delight myself on a day-to-day basis? I'm going to dance church. I'm painting my colors. Delight to me is achievable even in a dark time, because it is smaller than joy. And I like that about it. So I think that allowing that feeling to exist for myself, and also trusting that if I am delighted, it's going to delight someone else too. And but when I sit down to write or make anything, the first person I'm trying to please is me. And I think that that's so important, because when we get lost in the commerciality of this business and like, oh, what's the audience, blah, 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 blah. If you make it true to you and authentic to you and specific to you and delightful to you, the audience is going to find it, because we're all a lot more alike than we were taught to believe.
Yeah. What would success be? What does it mean?
Being able to do it now, the way I'm doing it, and being able to take it to a point where I don't have to be as big as Kendrick. I don't need to be big as J. Cole. But I'm recognized for my craft. Like I can still
go on tour and perform for a crowd of 10,000, 5,000 people. You know what I mean? I can get a check and feed my son. You know what I mean? I can sustain myself. I can pay my bills. I can live my life. I can do all of these things doing what I love.
How do you define success?
I define success as being at a place where you feel whole, at a place where you feel like you feel accomplished. I know back in the day, I used to think success looked a certain way.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But now being on my journey, and especially I'm on a journey of healing, in many ways, not just from my past, but just healing in a way where it's like, no more, self-sabotage when it comes to certain things. But to me, success looks like confidence. Success to me looks like, I feel good about what I just did. That was successful. Success to me is learning to not give a lack of a better word, about what others think about what it is that I've done, so that's why I'm still on that healing journey, just being honest.
Yeah.
As far as not really caring, because I'm a person that has always cared so much about other people and cared for other people. As you can see, taking care of my grandfather, my kids, that's a thing that I love to do, is to care. But I'm having to learn exactly what you all were talking about, that success for me would be learning to be okay with setting my boundaries. Wow. Being okay with like not accepting what's coming against my peace. Wow. Being okay with the process of my healing journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what success looks like to me.
Feeling proud of yourself. Right? Did I add that word? I might have added that. But feeling confident and constant healing. That's right? Okay.
Yeah, that's how I would. Yeah, that would be my description.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's so funny is that the last time I had come on the show, you asked me the same question.
Yes.
Right? And then we were also talking about how, from a year ago or a year and a half ago, it's like I've evolved, grown so much, right? So I may have to play back the tape and see what I thought it was then.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like, so one part of my answer is still the same. In terms of success is different for everyone. And you can't measure success based on where someone else is at, because they had different opportunities, they had different struggles than you. So success is definitely something that's different for each person. But I also want to speak to just the self and the self-love aspect of it, and the setting healthy boundaries for yourself, because sometimes you can fall off your ladder a little bit because you are overgiving and you're not giving enough to yourself. And I want to share, maybe I'll try to make it a 30-second story.
You got it.
Because with success, so being able to have a successful stage play audition was something that I wanted to make sure I did. So I didn't attach whether I got cast to the success of the part, because at the end of the day, writer director, they have a vision of who they want to cast.
Right.
But I had to say, do I feel like I did a good job? Many times when we're in the entertainment industry, we tie the result to the success.
Right.
And that shouldn't be the case.
No.
I've had bad auditions before, and sometimes that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. I remember specifically a horrible, now I say it's horrible, but I think it was horrible because I wasn't prepared. I'm saying like years ago, maybe even like more than a decade ago, I wasn't prepared. Like I didn't know, someone gave me the opportunity, but I didn't even know the production that I was auditioning for. I was at rehearsal of another production in the theater, and I was told, okay, the director said that you can go in there and go now. So I didn't know what I was rehearsing for.
Yeah.
I had to reach in my toolbox for the monologue. I didn't even know the day before. I couldn't practice the song. It was cold. My voice had changed. Like I was just like,
yeah,
I didn't know, what was happening. And so, that experience was always in the back of my head. So I always had to say, you know what, okay, well, I can do these self-tapes though. You know what I'm saying? I can do these self-tapes all day. But, live and especially like singer auditions and all of that stuff, you have to warm up. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's more difficult in my opinion. So I was like, you know what? I was like, as long as I go there, I was like, I'm going to make some bold choices. Like there was a part in the scene where she looks at a picture, and I had on my phone, my daughter was the screensaver. There was a part where she drinks. I had a water bottle, and just instinctively, I was that person. I was like, and I spilled a little bit of the water bottle too. Do you remember? Like, because I squeezed it a little too hard, and I was like, I don't even care because she would do that. I was in it.
Yeah.
And then when I got in the car, I was like, that's how you audition. It's like to myself.
Yeah.
And then I walked away from it.
Yep.
Because I said, you know what? I was like, if I'm in the vision for that production, that, for Kiana, like, that's okay. But if not, it's okay too, because I didn't tie the result to the success.
Right. So what's your definition of success?
At 42, because I just love who I am at 42. Like for me, it's like doing what I want to do every day. I literally every day I do what I want, and that is like amazing to me.
But that takes the work, like you said, to know what you want.
To know what I want. And you got to take the time to build it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to make money? How are you going to do these things? How are you going to set systems up for yourself, right? And when you're putting those systems in place, they're not in place yet. So you're still running around doing all types of stuff. You got to understand, like the roots grow first, and then you see the flower. Right. The roots always go first. So I'm grateful that now, like, I'm seeing my flowers, right? Because I'm so rooted, right? So every day I get to do what I love. There's not one day that goes by that I don't like, no, I want to do that. Okay, I'm going to do that. And that's amazing. Like, I love that I get to just lounge in my beautiful bed and, have a glass of champagne, have a glass of tea. People call me 10 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? Living my wealthy Black woman life. Just lounging.
What does success mean to you? How do you define it?
Well, I think I alluded to it a little bit earlier. It's like, for me, success would be...
you said micro success.
Yeah. But even on a grander scale, because all of these grand things come from micro atoms that look like this. Like everything is micro, and it appears the same, from a macro level as well. So, being able to execute all of my ideas and not burn out, like, be able to be myself the entire time. Like, if I can, like, do things my way and benefit from them the way that I want, and not have to sacrifice myself to do so, because I spent the first half of my life, I would say I'm a young person, but I spent a good portion of my life thus far, sacrificing myself
in what way
to make things happen. No sleep, grind culture. It's just again, like, I was depressed for years and didn't even know it, because I just thought I hated life and things would change once something I was doing popped. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when people, like, say Mary J. Blige, for instance. Like, I remember growing up watching her at, living out her dreams at the height of her success, and she was so depressed, and I was just like, how? Why are you depressed? Like, the thing that you wanted in life, you have it. You know what I'm saying? But she sacrificed a lot of herself to get there.
And that was our 2024 wrap-up episode. I want to thank all the guests again who share their time and their knowledge with us and their definition of success. Big shout out to all the listeners, everyone who's liked the episode, who's shared the episodes, who's commented, and just been really, really supportive over the years. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited for 2025, y'all. Remember, we'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours. See y'all in 2025.